All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Beyond the Arc podcast. Dallas, joined as always by Levi. Levi, how's it going?
Well, Dallas, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty well. And I just want to go and get this out of the way before anyone notices. We keep looking up. We both have the Lady Vols game on the TV at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not looking at Dallas. I'll tell you that.
I believe the Lady Vols are leading the game right now. It's at half. They're up by 4 or 5. Anyway, Levi, let's go ahead and get started talking about yesterday's Mercer matchup for Tennessee. First things first, I think that everyone's kind of, freaking out. It was a close game. Tennessee didn't blow them out. But I mean, you look at last season's opening matchup, and despite what fake news Levi would tell you, Tennessee won that game 80-64. They didn't necessarily blow Gardner Webb out either, so I don't think people need to worry too much about the opening matchup. That's kind of a trend under Rick Barnes is that those opening matchups are close. They're physical. I think that's kind of what Rick Barnes wants. So I'm not worried too much about that at all. First of all, let's look at the good side of what I thought Tennessee was able to do yesterday. You had Nate Ament really show out. Now, he's much more accurate and efficient than he was against Duke in the exhibition. 18 points, 9 rebounds. And then you had JP Estrella, 12 points, 5 rebounds. Love seeing JP healthy and being able to play at full strength. And then you had Dwayne Brown, once again, showing that as a freshman, he's going to be pushing some of them upperclassmen for minutes. I hate to name someone out, but Jalen Carey, he better watch out for Dwayne Brown. And then I mean you have Troy Henderson, who we did not get to see in the Duke exhibition. He looked like he belonged. He had 6 points, hit two threes, banked one in, had two assists. So that's going to be some solid minutes he should be able to give you. And Ethan Berg, I mean, he didn't score much, only had 2 points, but he was able to dish out 5 assists. And he looks also like he belongs. He doesn't look lost on defense. It does kind of crack me up when Barnes yells at him on the way off the bench. I'm like, Coach, I don't think he really understands the words you're saying. So you're kind of wasting your breath. And on the negative portion of things, I don't want to be too negative, but Gillespie, he's a senior. Man, I mean, I hate the 4 turnovers. He's just getting into things. I don't think that'll be a problem throughout the season. But I mean, 3 of 11 from the field. I think 2 of 6 from three. But I'd like to see a little bit better production from Gillespie. And then Okpara, he just really didn't get a chance to get started. I mean, he come up with 2 early fouls and gets the third in the beginning of the second half. And Rick Barnes and his foul strategy is kind of something for another podcast on another day. But Levi, what are your opening thoughts from the Mercer's game? Keep on the call it a scrimmage.
I'd like to one say, Danny White, please change the way that we have stats put up on the Jumbotron. I can see nothing. I have great vision. I can see nothing. And I sit 27 rows away from the floor. I can't see nothing. I can't see player fouls. I can't see points. I can't see nothing. Thank
Well,
God. What'd you
someone
say?
said someone said it looked like it was about 10 feet off the floor, and from a picture I saw, it doesn't look like it's too far off the floor. Personally,
It's lower than last year's for sure. They do need to raise it. I've seen pictures on good old X um, of people saying like I couldn't even see the other basket, and I'm like, that's what that beautiful jumbotron's for, man. You just watch the score. You just get to watch the jumbotron, just like you're at home. You just paid actual money for it. But overall positives. I thought Nate Mint played well. He got sat for a little while. He gave Rick Barnes a little bit of the cold shoulder when Barnes was trying to do a little teaching moment, and Rick Barnes said, "You want to be like that? Meet my good friend the bench." So he sat for a bit, and that's part of being a freshman. And sometimes the way I saw the game last night was the refs kind of allowed Mercer to kind of be a lot more physical than we were allowed to be, in my opinion. There were times where their guards were able to essentially create contact uh, defensively or offensively to our defenders, and then they get a foul call, and then we'd come down, no call, which is bound to happen in, this type of play, the mid-major play. The refs are like, "Oh, well, you're the better team. You should just be better," which happens in college basketball. You'll see it all across the country. Houston last night, not to get off topic, only won by 18 points. They're the unanimous pick, and a lot of people have them as the best team in the country. They barely beat a pretty average basketball team by 18 points. I think you and I communicated. I think Mercer has a good shot to win their conference this year. It's a good team. Their big is tough. He defends at a very high level. And Akpar, I don't think was ready for that, and it kind of put Akpar, I think, in a place that ended up, like you said, the fouls could never really get going. Is what it is. But overall, as you stated, even though I thought we beat Gardner Webb last year by um, 40, basically, and we scored 90 plus points, even though that Ken Palm got me uh, all over the place on that one. I still think I agree with you 100%. Positives, in my opinion, are Dwayne Brown. You're going to have to give the guy minutes. But when Carey's going out and getting you 8 points and 10 rebounds, that's what you want from Carey. Can he do it against an SEC team? I don't think so, unless he's somehow playing against us again, because he was magnificent last year against us. Negatives, Gillespie. I don't understand how he didn't know that Mercer was going to trap him at half court every single time he was about to cross half court. It got to the point where I even was asking my mom. My mom played high level basketball. I was like, how does he not know that they're just about to trap him? And she was like, I don't know. Maybe he's just getting used to Rick Barnes' system. So uh, my main negative is Gillespie. To run our offense, you cannot turn the basketball over like that. And we're used to Zakai, and prior to Zakai, we had Kennedy Chandler, Jordan Bone. We're used to solid point guard plays. And I'm not saying that he can't be that, but he's going to have to learn on the fly. And that's a good thing, because I think this team's going to be really good come conference play. They're going to get tested. And like I said, my main negative is just Gillespie can't turn the ball over like that. Berg, very positive. 5 assists, playing point guard, definitely handled the rock well. We need Bishop Boswell to learn to just shoot the ball, man. You're not playing with Jemai Mashak. There's no Dalton Connect. There's no Chaz Lanier. If you're open, you have to shoot the basketball on this team. Nobody is the go-to guy this year. So I would love to see Bishop, and he has a good stroke. So those are my takeaways. Of course, you know me, Dallas. I like to bring in like 4 other teams when I get into mine.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, I thought about maybe putting together something for Northern Kentucky, but I mean, let's be honest. Even though it could be another close game in the first half, I don't think Tennessee's in any danger of losing that matchup personally. So, with that being said, let's just go ahead and move on to making our final four.
Dallas, hold on one second. Northern Kentucky beat Cincinnati Clermont last night by 60. So put some respect on their name.
Cincinnati Claremont. Is that a hotel?
I it sounds like one, but we're the 15th ranked team in Ken Palm after night one. So
Not bad, not shabby. Not Tennessee's best in Ken Palm recently. I don't think they've been that low recently, but still not shabby for a team that's basically brand new. So moving on to our Final Four predictions, very early Final Four predictions. Of course, we'll make some more once the season draws a little bit closer to being over. Well, what I'll do here is I'll go with my first team, then you can give me your team. Tell me why you think they're going to make the Final Four, whatever. But first of all, got to be the homer, I guess. I'm going Tennessee. I think the similarities between this year's Tennessee team and last year's Florida team are very strong, and there's not something to overlook. You're loaded in the post. You have a veteran guard that should, by the come March, be very experienced in this offense and be very, very battle tested. Nate Mint, I think he's going to be a special player, and to win in March, you have to have one of them special players. I think Tennessee is going to make its first ever Final Four. and this time I feel a lot stronger about it than I do have in the past. Levi, who you got in the Final Four as your first team?
Uh, my first team, I'll have to go Purdue. I like their point guard play. I like their guard play. I think that is it Kaufman Wren? How do you say the guy's name? He sounds
Yep,
like he's part of Star Wars, but yeah, I like his game. I really like Purdue. I think Painter just keeps it going there. I really like Purdue to make the Final Four.
that's a good pick. And then sticking with those kind of schools, I got Houston. We mentioned him earlier. Milo Zuzang, he's a special player. I think Sanak Jr. will be a star by the time March comes around, similar to Nate Ament. The offense is consistently improving each season, while Houston has always had an elite defense under Kelvin Sampson. The offense at first was kind of clunky, and it's kind of evolved and improved over seasons. And if that could continue this season, I think it's very possible Houston gets back to the Final Four. Levi, your next team.
Carbon copy. I was gonna go. I got Houston number two here as my uh they're one of my guarantees. I think they have the defensive player of the year in Tugler. I think he's at
Yeah,
6'8". He can switch 1 through 5. He's the type of guy that he's a Josiah Jordan James guy. Sadly, Josiah Jordan James gets bad rep with our fan base, which drives me insane because I think Joseph Tugler is identical to what Josiah Jordan James was. But as you said, offense is improving. Their offensive rating right now is 13th in the country. That's pretty dang good for a Houston team, which they typically struggle to score the basketball. They're still the number one team in Ken Palm. So I like Houston a lot to be my number two team, carbon copy on everything else you said.
all right, moving on to my next team, where I say you probably have this team in there as well. Be surprised if you didn't. Duke. We saw Cameron Boozer. He's going to be special. That's I've said that word twice already, but he's going to be. I think he'll want to get better. Dame Star, Dom Star, however you pronounce his first name there. He's very talented. He's going to be a special player as well. I haven't always been the biggest fan of John Shire, but he performed pretty well in the NCAA tournament last season. So I have to give him his due and say that I believe Duke is going to be making the Final Four. Levi, your next team.
I'm gonna go. Duke will not be in my Final Four. Uh,
Mm-mm.
I
Interesting.
don't. They have two players, in my opinion, uh, and in the tournament, point guard play matters. They don't have a point guard. You can have great bigs. I mean, they had Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett, and Cam Reddish on the same team. They didn't have a point guard. They didn't make it to the Final Four. So I don't see Duke making the Final Four. I got Connecticut. I like UConn. I like solo ball. I think Dan Hurley has a team where he can just cuss them out this year and they'll respond. Also, dad is a UConn alum, so shout out UConn. So we'll take UConn as our third Final
All
Four
right.
team.
Going to my fourth and Final Four team. This is probably the one team that it's probably not going to be a popular pick. I don't think I've seen really anyone pick it. I was looking at there was a prediction of some media company came out and gave out their Final Four predictions, and this team was not on there. Give me Arkansas to make the Final Four. I think Calipari finally has an elite freshman that he does very well with. I mean, Anthony Davis, I could name them all. I mean, he's at his best when he has an elite freshman. And Malik Thomas, that dude, they went on the road against Cincinnati, I believe, and he did not look like a freshman whatsoever. So give me Arkansas to make the Final Four, and I'm not going to be too sad when Kentucky fans complain about that. Levi, your fourth and final team.
Before I say my fourth and final team, uh, Trevon Brazile he may end up winning SEC Player of the Year this year. I don't know if you saw him last night, the highlights against Southern, which I know it's Southern, but good Lord, dude was incredible. But for my Final Four, my I want to be a homer. I want to GBO it up right here and say Tennessee, but I can't. I have us losing in the Elite Eight, I believe. I'm going to say Mark Few takes Gonzaga back to the Final Four. I'm going to take Gonzaga as my fourth and final team. I really like the makeup of this team. That this is the last year they get to play in the Western. Was it West Coast Conference? Is that what it
Yes,
is? The
yes.
WCC? Good basketball there. St. Mary's and all those schools, Pepperdine. But I really like his the makeup of this team, and I think overall Gonzaga has enough defense this year to where they'll be solid. And you know Gonzaga's going to play offense. So the fact that they have some defense to back up with their offense, I'm going to take Gonzaga. So Gonzaga will be my final team. I honestly think Tennessee will probably end up a 2 or 3 seed, have to play in Texas or on the West Coast to make that Final Four. And for some reason, we just can't ever get over the hump. So until they do make one, I swear off predicting Tennessee makes the Final Four.
I can't say I blame you too bad. So moving on to college basketball pick'em. Last year, Levi, I believe I won our pick'em by 2 games, which was it was very close.
Yeah,
You
1 or 2. Yeah, but you cheated for the first week, so you got up like 4 games, and I had to make a comeback. And I got up, and then you cheated again, so it doesn't really matter.
yeah, I was gonna say you accused me of rigging it, but anyway, this week we have number
It was rigged.
19, number 19 Kansas at number 25 North Carolina. That's actually a neutral site game. I do believe I have it written down here. Yeah, I do believe that's a neutral site game. I
Yep.
have next number 13 Alabama at number 5 St. John's, and then number 19 or 14. I think it's number 14 Arkansas at number 22 Michigan State. I'll go ahead and say that for number 19 Kansas at North Carolina, which is technically neutral. Give me Kansas Peterson. I mean, is this one of the best freshman classes we've seen in a while. But anyway, number 19 Kansas give 19 Kansas give me Kansas in that game. Levi, who you got?
I like Kansas as well. Um, I do like I think there's a big guy that transferred into North Carolina. Can't remember his name. Solid player, but overall, yeah, just give me Kansas. Peterson and their guard play is really solid this year.
Agreed. Moving on, we have number 13 Alabama at number 5 St. John's. Give me Alabama. I'm just not too impressed with that St. John's team so far. They are probably turning around. Trick Pitino, he probably will have them turned around by the end of the season. But for now, give me Alabama. Levi, who you have?
Taking St. John's. They looked good last night. Real good last night. I know they played Quinnipiac, Quinnipiac, however you say it. It's a good team, Dallas. That St. John's team, I was with you, but I'm seeing a little bit of the Patino uh, love to the team. But it's like he said to his point guard today, we wear white, they wear red. Give it to the guys in white.
Pretty simple. Okay, and going on to our third and final game, we have number 14 Arkansas at number 22 Michigan State. I said it earlier what I thought about Arkansas. I think Malik Thomas goes into Michigan State and puts on a Dalton Connect like performance, like we saw Connect do at Michigan State in the exhibition. So give me the Razorbacks in Michigan State. Levi, who do you have?
My cat was just in the. Did you see? Look, look. Uh, I'll take Michigan State. I think Izzo can outcoach and outsmart Calipari at this point. I do agree with you, Malik Thomas. I do, in my prediction at this point in time, SEC Player of the Year is probably Brazil from Arkansas. I really like his game. I think he's going to put up a ton of points. Cal's going to get him the ball. And like as we both stated, Malik Thomas he is that perfect Calipari guy, which makes sense why he let Boogie Fland go ahead and skirt on down into the panhandle. But I'm going to take Michigan State in that one. So one of us is going to start well, or one of us is going to start bad here.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Moving on to finally hardly known hoopers. This week I have Justin Exai. He is a transfer from, let me see, yes, JUCO, Dawson College. He's a 6'5" forward, shot 54% from the field, 40% from three. Extremely skilled in the post. He's more. I wrote down here if DJ Burns had handles and the lateral movement of a point guard, that would be Justin Azai. He plays for Ferris State, and you can catch most of their games. It seems like on Flow College, which is the streaming service that we all learned about a few years ago, I do believe, when Tennessee played VCU, and it looked as though we was watching on a potato. But anyway, that's my hardly known Hooper of the week, Justin Azai. Levi, who do you have?
I have Spencer Orange from Boise State. He chose Boise State over a ton of high major programs, which, as I texted you earlier today, Boise State decided they wanted to go and lose to Hawaii Pacific, a D2 school last night. So he had 14 and 6. It's not really his fault. He comes off the bench, but he's the type of guy that you really like to check out. He does it all. He's I guess you say a point forward in a way. Controls the ball, can run the offense if needed. So Lady Vols are choking over here, starting to make me
Yeah,
mad. 58-50 now. But what is this run? I mean, it was what? It was 50 46 12-0 run.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but overall, Spencer Arns is a really, really good basketball player, and and somehow the Boise State losing to a D2 school, there's no such thing as a quad five loss. So you can it just wipe it off. It was another exhibition essentially, except for the 0-1. So, but yeah, Spencer Arns, if you get a chance to check out Boise State, I would check Spencer Arns out. He's really solid overall.
How much, Levi, do you know about Hawaii Pacific?
I saw a picture that their school was like inside of a like
It's
food
a
court
strip
or
mall.
something.
It's a
Yeah.
strip mall, and
Yeah,
they
Pier 8
play
and Pier 9. You think they have classes up there?
problem, and they play their home games at Franciscan Adult Day Center facility.
So there's probably, wait, adult day center facility?
Yes. So basically,
Uh, Can people sit there?
I
Do they
don't.
sell tickets?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I have not gotten to that part yet. I will put on the journalism hat and try to find out
I know
everything
that
that I
Boise
can.
State was predicted to win the Mountain West Conference, I'm quite sure. So they got to figure some stuff out
And did you
to lose to
see?
a school.
And did you see what their athletic training staff did when a player suffered a cramp?
Yes, they just drug him off the floor.
Yeah, I mean, just like a bag of trash. You
I
have a
was like,
ghost.
no, if I do crazy things to see, I don't have a green screen like you do, so I'm using a Mac and things are I could be the ghost. See what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Missing a hand. It's back. Missing a hand. It's back. See? Magic, brother. Just like
Uh,
Hawaii Pacific. Am I even real?
I guess we will find out next week. So, Levi, do you have anything you want to add to today's show before we get off of here?
I'd love to see if people listen, show up to the daggone game Saturday. It's a 3 o'clock game. It'll be fun. It was awful last night until all of a sudden they were like, if this guy misses 2 free throws, you get free Chick-fil-A. And everybody in the daggum arena was just ready to go. I mean, oh, going crazy. Like we need to do that every time the opposing team is up to shoot a free throw. Even though that guy could have been like Boban and missed it on purpose, which I still believe he did. He probably downloaded the Chick-fil-A app and hit Chick-fil-A on the way out. But
Most likely. Do you think we could get an NIL deal with any sort of company to where anytime any team misses a shot at all, we get free food?
no,
I think that would make
it would
the
help.
loudest atmosphere you would ever hear in TBA.
Yeah. Well, in the first half, it's buy one, get one 12-inch subs from Jersey Mike's.
Oh,
Second half, it's an 8 count free chicken nugget from Chick-fil-A. I would rather
so
have the buy one, get one. 'Cause that's 30, what, $30 offer or something right there?
probably, yeah. But
Pretty close.
anyway, I guess we'll get off of here and finish watching the Lady Vols. Hopefully they make a comeback. Currently it is 58-50. NC State leads with 4:21 in the third quarter, and that is the Spearman, I believe, tying her shoe. Nice shoes, by the way. But
Great
anyway,
shoes.
let's thank everyone for listening. If you are, like Levi said, if not, we're just talking to ourselves, and that's fine too. But we'll see y'all next week here on the Beyond the Arc podcast. Go Ball.
See you, brother. Take it easy.